for joining us. This is another installment of our 4K Leadership Forums series, and we're glad that you're taking time out of your day to join us. My name is Christine Jenkins. I'm 4K manager, and I'm thrilled to be able to put together this series of presentations for you with our leadership forums. And we have today, this month, we have Catherine Moore back with us from Clemson Think Shops. And she is the director of training there. And she is bringing us the installment of 3 out of 4 series of trainings that she's doing for us. Today's training will be Understanding Dignity, ACEs, and the Whole Person. So we're really interested in hearing how this perspective will intersect with us as leaders and how it can help us to be more in tune as a leader. So I'm going to turn it over to Catherine.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for being here,
Thank you,
Catherine.
Christine. I love it. Hey, everybody. How are we? You feeling good? Having a good day? Staying warm? Well, I am. Oh, look, I see all kinds of names popping in on our chat box. That's wonderful. Very good. Good. I see some greats. Great day. I love it. We had snow in Pendleton, South Carolina. I told Christine just like 3 hours ago. Yes, Miss Robinson, it is cold. We had some snow and now the sun is out and shining bright. It's just, winter in the South. We just have all kinds of options that happen for us. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and let us get started with this conversation today. I love being with you all, and I am super honored to be with you again today. So, as always, I just want to take time to appreciate you and the leadership that you provide around the state. Thank you for your heart. Thank you for your dedication to serving youth and their families. If you attended the Leadership Summit back in August, you might remember that we talked about navigating conflict and difficult conversations. And during that time, we talked a little bit about the role that our identity plays in conflict. And that's kind of where we're picking up today. We're going to go a little bit deeper into understanding the whole person and how that can help us navigate conflict a little bit. So I'm excited. I'm excited about that. While we talk about this, I know that you're going to be thinking about the families that you serve and the children that you serve and your team members, because that's the kind of people you are. You are servant leaders. But I also want you to think about yourself and remember to consider yourself and that you are a whole person as well. So as we talk about this, remember you. I have built in some virtual engagement tools for us, but truly, I just want to hear from y'all. I mean, I want you to unmute. I want you to talk. I consider this to be a conversation, and I feel like this is a really important topic. It can be kind of a heavy-weighted topic, and the way to move through that is for us to talk about it together. So we will have the opportunity to annotate on the screen. So there'll be some ways that I want you to jot down some notes on the screen. When we do that, I want you to know that I have taken your names away from your annotation. So if you annotate something on the screen, your name is not going to be associated with that, so that you could have some anonymity there if you were uncomfortable. We chat, feel free to chat. And if I miss something in chat, Christine or Samantha, y'all just alert me, because I feel like there's so many windows and I just can't see everything. I just can't. But that happens, you just let me know, because I don't want to miss anything. And then I've got the microphone for the talk symbol. So y'all talk with me today. Talk with me. Our norms for the room are the same as always. This is a safe space. So those of us who are here today, you are, I believe that we are here together on purpose for a reason. And the conversations that we have, there is no wrong thing to say. There's no wrong question. There's no wrong ideas. There's no wrong anything to put into the space. And we respect you and we respect what you bring to the table. And I think it's assumed that we will keep it all here in this space today. So whatever we talk about, let's just keep it here. I know that you're open minded. I know that you will be present and engaged because you always are. I know that you were respectful and kind because I've been around you in person and virtually, and you're amazing and I love you, which is why I love being with you. And I do hope that we can all enjoy our time together today. I have so much to learn from you, so I respect that. Is there anything that anybody would like to add to the list? Just unmute and let me know. I'm seeing lots of chats pop up that I'm not getting to. Anybody want to add anything? Okay. All right. All right. Well, then our key takeaways for you. I want us to identify the fundamental principles of dignity. There's 10 of them, and how they relate to the workplace and why they're important for their workplace. I want you to, I'm going to refresh you if you've probably studied adverse childhood experiences before. If you have not, I'm going to give you some information about that. And if you've studied it before, I'll give you a little refresher on that. And we're going to think about how our adverse childhood experiences impact our behavior and the relationships and our work teams as adults. And then just some strategies in general to support people in our professional settings. All right, so head over to your chat box. First thing we're going to do, I want you to put in the chat box anything, again, safe space, no wrong, no right answer. I just want to hear from you. I want you to chat any words or phrases that come to mind when you think about dignity. Any words or phrases. Thank you, Miss Gina. Yes. Respect. Thank you. Oh, family. Yes. Respect. Pride. Loyalty. Thank you. Trust. Honor. Family. Yeah. Dignity. Honor. Integrity. Yes, thank you. Integrity. Thank you. Yeah. Anybody else? These are so good. I think of the same thing. Ooh, self-worth. Yes, thank you, Jennifer. Value. Brittany, thank you. I think about self-respect. I think about value and worth as well. Yes, treating others with kindness. Self-esteem. Thank you. I think about honor and integrity also. I think we're all on the same in the same headspace. And we all bring so many experiences to the table, to the room today even, and those experiences, as you know, have shaped us into who we are this very moment, like right now even. All of those experiences that we've had bring us to who we are right now in this very moment. So I want us to think about dignity, but as we consider the role that dignity plays in conflict resolution, remember that we're also thinking about the whole person and that inherent dignity that we all have. We're also going to think about the impact of our life experiences, like I said, specifically ACEs, and how those affect us, our self-concept, and our work performance. Those ACEs can impact our self-esteem, can impact our self-worth, our sense of value, can impact the way that we honor others, the way that we trust others, or maybe not trust others. We're going to think about that. All right, I'm jumping in, you guys, to a situation. Okay, this is Alex. We're going to read through the situation, and then I'm going to ask you about 3 questions. So here's the Alex scenario, And I want you to be thinking about what should have happened with Alex. So during a team meeting, Alex is so excited. Alex shares an idea for improving workflow and efficiency. So excited. But before she can finish, her manager just whoosh, dismisses that idea, says it's unrealistic. She says this in front of everybody, and this just dismisses Alex. So Alex is excited. I've got this great new idea. We're going to be more efficient. We're going to improve our workflow. And then right in the middle of while she's talking, the manager says, ugh, that's so unrealistic, Alex. No, no, no. So what do y'all think? How might Alex have felt after getting shut down so quickly? And look, I love hearing from y'all. You know this. So unmute if you want to talk. You don't have to chat. Thank you, Erica. Yeah, disappointed. Shame. Yeah.
Embarrassed.
Embarrassed. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. Her manager
unwilling
needs this
to-
workshop, right? Thank you. Low self-esteem. Defeated. Oh, yes. That's such a bad feeling.
She
Yeah, her
probably will
feelings
be
were not
unwilling
validated.
to, I'm sorry.
No,
She
no, go
probably
ahead.
be unwilling to share again. And sometimes that causes a ripple effect moving forward to anything else. So she could be a valuable person, but would never open up again,
Yep,
knowing that she may be ridiculed.
that's right. She got shut down. She's less likely to participate. She feels defeated. She was not validated. I mean, she was so excited and she was just shut down and embarrassed in front of everybody. Um, we all have self-doubt at times. And as her manager, we should never ever dismiss somebody, especially in front of the team. Yeah, she will not. No, she will not. Yeah, I agree. Christine, she will never participate the next time. Yeah, she's going to quiet down. So what should have happened? What do y'all think? How would you have handled it? Again, no wrong answer. Just talking.
Let's give it a try.
Right, sure. Open-minded. Let's give it a try. What if we totally disagreed with Alex's ideas? How could we
Um,
handle that without
I
shutting
think
down?
there's definitely a way to handle it, properly if you disagree or if it's not something that that it may not be realistic, but that doesn't mean that she knew that, or the other team members knew that. So as the director or as the manager, you can say, "Hey, one, thank you for sharing." Because you
Yeah.
want your teammates, your employees to still continue to share when they have great and amazing ideas. And you can say that's definitely something we can think about and we can discuss later. You don't
Mhm.
necessarily have to address it in that moment, but you want to acknowledge the fact that they felt comfortable enough to share something, um, and acknowledge the fact that, hey, you did bring up a point. Is something that we can discuss later.
I love that. Yes. Acknowledge. Acknowledge it. This is a great point. Let's come back to it, right? This is not the best time to discuss this further, but wow, thank you for bringing that to the table. Yeah. And look, y'all are chatting some wonderful things. Yes. Thank you for sharing. We can see how let's think about how we can integrate your ideas. Love it. Christine says we could talk through possible outcomes of implementing our idea, including the best case and the worst case scenario. Exactly. Let's talk through this together. Karen says you can always find some small piece of value. Focus on validation on some level and show appreciation for idea sharing. Yes, absolutely. You guys, I am an ideator. It is in my Clifton Strengths profile. It is within my top 5. I have random ideas all the time. And for my ideas to be shut down automatically without any just listening to it takes a toll on me. It really does. So I appreciate this. You can always find some way to validate. And then look, Christine says we need to listen and meet with her personally and then plot out if that scenario to see if it could work. Yeah. Just taking the time to say, hey, we see you and we hear you. I appreciate that. All right, let's look at another one. Okay. Does anybody feel comfortable reading out loud? I'd love to have a volunteer just read this scenario about Jordan.
Sure. Jordan spends weeks leading a complex project, ensuring every detail is executed flawlessly. During the final presentation, his supervisor publicly praises another team member while completely overlooking Jordan's contributions.
Oh gosh. All right. Poor Jordan. What do y'all think? How do you think Jordan felt?
Defeated.
Defeated. I agree.
Unappreciated.
Unappreciated.
Ignored.
Ignored. Mm-hmm. What do you think Jordan might be thinking because he was overlooked?
That his opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's how I would feel. Disrespected. Kimberly, I love that. Can you tell me more about that? Is she talking?
Can you hear me?
Oh, is that you? Can I hear you, Kimberly?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Tell me more about the disrespected, because I agree with you and I want to know where you're coming from.
Well, basically because he's feeling that his idea is something that they can use or they may be able to implement. And he's feeling excited about it. And then by her completely, well, I just see it as totally disrespect by her saying what she said to him,
Just
the way she said it to him.
mm-hmm. Somebody else is
Kind of
getting
made
all of
her,
the credit for what Jordan
yeah,
did.
it kind of made him feel like, well, I did all, I did all this. It happened to me before. I did all the work. I brought all the information to the forefront, and then the person that took the information and went along with it didn't even acknowledge the fact that I was the one that gave them the idea to do what they did. So it
Mm-hmm.
kind of made me feel disrespected when it
Mm-hmm.
happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Thank you. Thank
yeah,
you, Kimberly. I thank you for putting out your personal experience with that. Thank you for bringing that to the space. I too have had this happen. It is professional disrespect. Yes, we feel that because it is. It is professional disrespect to absolutely give someone credit for somebody else's work, to overlook someone's contributions, especially if it's, they've laid out everything. You think about all of the work that it goes into organizing a big project with all of the details. That's days and weeks, potentially months of work, depending upon a project. And Christine put in the chat box, how would Jordan be feeling? He's looking for another job. Y'all, it's true. It's true. So what should have happened? What should have happened? Instead of this supervisor publicly praising another team member and overlooking Jordan, what would be the better response? This is not a trick question, I promise. What you're thinking is the right thing to be thinking. What do y'all think?
They should have
I
got
would have
acknowledged.
praised both.
Yeah, praise both. Acknowledge the whole team, right? Maybe say, thank you, Jordan, for leading this effort. But definitely everybody, what gets rewarded gets repeated. When we praise everyone, people appreciate that. And recognition brings joy to the work that people do. So it's important. Yeah, Brittany says, maybe don't even call names, just acknowledge the whole team. Absolutely. Absolutely. We're on the same page. All right, I got one more. One more. Anybody feeling brave? Another brave volunteer to read this scenario for us?
I read it.
Thank you.
During a family meeting, Maria confidently shares key insights she prepared about the child's development. Mid-sentence, her supervisor interjects, correcting her in a condescending tone, and proceeds to explain the exact same behavior.
Ooh. All right. Same questions. How's Maria feeling? She just got undermined in front of people during a family meeting. And The stuff
Yeah.
that she was reporting out was repeated.
She would be feeling embarrassed for one,
Yeah. Yep.
disrespected.
Disrespected. Mm-hmm. Yep. Thank you. Unappreciated and disrespected. And so then instead of that, so why do you think someone would treat people on their team, their staff, their employee, like why would someone in a leadership position treat people this way? Alicia, yes, belittled. Thank you.
Maybe she didn't think that she was going to respond correctly with the, correct terminology. And of course, she didn't listen well, just, to hear what the staff member was saying.
So maybe that supervisor was concerned that she wasn't going to explain it in the right way. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Okay. Which could be a valid, I can see a supervisor feeling that way. So what would be the proper way to handle it?
One thing would be to show love, concern about what was going on.
Yeah, I
Show
appreciate that.
love. Yeah. Show them that you care, because everybody wants to feel love and feel respected and feel powerful at times.
That's
And
right.
we have to remember that everybody have feelings.
That's
And
right.
yeah.
That's right. And if I'm your supervisor and I'm worried, let's say that it's, we're in this situation and you're beginning to explain some insights that you have noticed about the child. And if I'm starting to get concerned, then I might just let you talk and then paraphrase what you say. I'm not going to shut you down ever in front of anyone.
Right.
And in fact, I would probably, as the supervisor, I would have had that conversation with my staff member well before we met with the family. So I kind of feel like shame on that supervisor for not being prepared, not knowing what Maria was going to say. Ooh, I love this. Okay. Oh, look, Miss Benita says that Maria might have felt like she didn't know how to do her job. Timid and not wanting to share anything else. That's right. Shutting people down. Karen says the supervisor needs to practice good listening skills. If the supervisor had a specific plan, she should have discussed that with the employee prior to the start of the meeting. Absolutely. Communication. That's respect. That's honoring the professional dignity of the people that we supervise. Absolutely. Thank you. See, I knew y'all would talk with me. I love y'all. I want to jump into dignity. I'm excited to introduce you to Dr. Donna Hicks. She is a internationally renowned authority on dignity. Like, she knows her stuff. She's been studying dignity and conflict resolution for over 30 years. She's a Harvard professor. She, has helped countries through conflict. She's helped nations in their conflict. I mean, just she knows her stuff. And I love her book. I've got it right here. It's called Leading with Dignity, Dr. Donna Hicks, How to Create a Culture That Brings Out the Best in People. And you just hit the nail on the head. We've got to show love. And when we show love, we honor people's dignity. And we talked a little bit about identities at the summit back in August. So that's kind of where this concept of dignity is coming from. We've taken identity and we're going a little bit deeper with dignity. That's Dr. Donna Hicks. Everything that we talk about is coming from her. Here is her definition of dignity. She defines dignity as the mutual recognition of the desire to be seen, heard, listened to,
Mhm.
treated fairly, to be recognized, understood, and to just feel safe, to feel safe in the world. When we
Mhm.
treat each other this way, that's showing love, right? It's showing people that they matter, right?
Mhm.
That's dignity. It's showing people that they matter. So, what do you think? Why is it important for people to know they matter? Why does that matter? Lots of mattering. What do you think? No wrong answer. What happens when our work teams know that we care about them and that they matter to us and to the work that we do?
When they know that they matter, they take ownership in the work. They feel a part.
They're more productive.
They feel value.
Yes.
I
All the
also
good
think it
stuff.
helps to help retain the employment as well.
Yes. Yes, they feel appreciated. They work better. They are willing to work hard. They're willing to stay resilient. They stay with us. We retain them, right? They feel heard. They feel respected. It creates a sense of community. Yes, absolutely. Because everybody wants to be loved. Absolutely. Yeah, they feel valued. It matters because we must show that we love them. It's so true. It matters. So when people know that they matter, the reaction is all of the opposite stuff of us shutting them down. The opposite of all the three scenarios we just looked at. Absolutely. So I want to show you the 10 elements of dignity so that we can continue to show people that they matter. Here's the 10 elements. I know it's kind of a lot, and I'm sorry that it's 10 things, but that's the way Dr. Hicks, that's the way she pared all down the information from her 30 years of research. She says that one of the elements, the first element is accepting identity. So however a person wants to identify themselves, we just accept that. Honoring someone's dignity doesn't mean that we are compromising our own beliefs or our own values. We're simply accepting them for who they are. She says that recognition is another element of dignity, and this is like in that scenario, Jordan didn't get recognized for his contributions and his hard work. So taking time to recognize and validate others for their talents, for their thoughtfulness, for their hard work, just giving credit where credit's due. Acknowledgement is giving people their attention. Like you said, we've got to listen to people well and respond to them, respond to their joys and respond to their challenges. Inclusion is just what it sounds like, showing people that they belong. They are included in this space. You're included in the decisions that we make. Your opinion matters. Safety is the twofold safety, the psychological safety and the physical safety. Fairness, treating people with equality and with justness in an even-handed way. Independence is encouraging people to act independently on their own behalf, giving them the tools that they need to be independent. Understanding is just believing people and hearing them out, and that whatever they think is important because it's them, it's related to them. Giving people the benefit of the doubt, and then accountability, helping people take responsibility for their actions through love. Like you said, let's lead with love. I'm not trying to scold or punish. I want to hold you accountable through love. When we honor these elements of dignity, Dr. Hicks tells us that it encourages mental wellness and physical wellness for the people on our teams, which I think is amazing. Just honoring who they are and the dignity that we all are born with. So this is, if you still have your if you still remember how to annotate, I would love for you to do that now. What you got to do is you hover, there's a little green bar on your screen that says you are viewing Cathy Moore's screen, potentially. I think you should have that there. And then there's a little drop down arrow and you click on it and you'll see another taskbar control panel and you'll see the word annotate. And when annotate pops up, you can click on the check mark, which is a stamp. And I would love for you to use the heart stamp or the check mark stamp to show me which of these elements of dignity are easy for people to honor. You know, maybe not you specifically, but just people in general. What do you think it's easy for people to do? Thank you. And then maybe a different stamp, maybe the X stamp to show us what it's hard for people to do. Ooh, I love y'all. Yes. Thank you.
It looks like they're finding their annotation, but if anybody is having trouble finding it, it could also just appear like a little pen in the corner of the screen and
Okay.
not say annotate unless you hover over it.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
mhm.
Yes. Oh, look, I appreciate that. And see, your names are not popping up, so you can click, you can select wherever. Yep. It is difficult to acknowledge people. It is difficult to accept the way people identify. Yep. Difficult to give people the independence. Difficult to include people in decision making. Difficult to give people the benefit of the doubt. Difficult to hold people accountable. Easy to recognize people. I love that. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry. I see you're having trouble drawing on the screen. I apologize for that. We can still see things. I'm just going to move some of these around that are overlapping. It's interesting. We're kind of all over the place, aren't we? Yeah. That accountability is difficult. All right, so y'all take a look at this. We don't have names associated, but but look at the pattern. What are you noticing a pattern? Are you seeing a pattern? Considering dignity, just our inherent dignity that we're all born with. Seems to me that recognition is the easiest for people to honor. Benefit of the doubt is difficult. What do y'all think? Y'all talk to me. Why might it be difficult to provide that acknowledgement for people? Not for you necessarily, but for others. And acknowledgement is just, you know, validating, listening to people, responding to their concerns, just acknowledging that what they say matters. What do you think would be a struggle there?
Sometimes people are not secure within themselves, and so it's difficult for them to see the goodness or allow that to shine in others. And so because of some things that they may be overcompensating for, they just don't acknowledge. And sometimes people, I think, or maybe they use it as an excuse. like they're too busy. Like I've seen the word love thrown around here a lot. I'm taking this out of the workplace and like in the family
Sure.
realm, it's like, oh, I love you, I appreciate it. You assume that the other person knows. That's a big word, right? Assume that the other person knows, and you feel as if I don't always have to acknowledge what you're doing because you should know.
You should know.
You should know, and we don't. We like,
Okay. Ooh, that's good. You know what though? I think people do that in the workplace too. I gave you an atta girl last month when you did that great work. How often do you need me to do that kind of thing? You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to hold your hand and baby you kind of thing. You should know. I appreciate that so much. Um, oh, look, it's hard for some people to listen. It is. It is. It's hard to understand another person's perspective, to see things from somebody else's perspective. Absolutely. Some people just think that they are always right. That's true. They need to be in here with us in this room today, too. The other one that I see a lot of X's on is holding people accountable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see several X's for holding people accountable. What do y'all think? What is difficult for about that? Losing an employee. Yep. And we could go back to Anne's comment. Some people just still think that they're right. It's difficult to hold you accountable if you think that you're right all the time when actually we need to correct some things. Ooh, I like this. If we don't hold ourselves accountable, it's difficult to hold other people accountable. I like that. Fear
me,
of damaging a relationship. I didn't mean to interrupt. Yes.
Sorry, for me, it's hard to hold people accountable because it sometimes can bring confrontation, and I don't like confrontation. So it's one of the most challenging parts of being a leader, is trying to hold people accountable without offending them or creating
absolutely.
confrontation.
I hear you. I don't love confrontation either. So we're going to circle back to that accountability piece because were you there when we talked at the conference this summer when we talked about difficult conversations and the drama triangle and all that? Were you there? Okay. Yay.
Yes.
All right. So we're going to circle back to that. So remember
Great.
that because the accountability is part of that compassion cycle. So
right. Yeah.
we can do it. We can do it. We can do it. So thank y'all. I agree. Is there anything else that's standing out that you would like to discuss? Anything else you're noticing? Anybody? All right. So these are the 10 elements of dignity according to Dr. Donna Hicks. I'm telling y'all, this is such a good book, Leading with Dignity. I wish you could see how much I've highlighted and like dog-eared and all the things in this book. But when we honor these elements, not only within ourselves, but in other people, right? We are encouraging wellness, physical wellness and mental wellness. But Dr. Hicks goes even further into dignity by saying we are connected to it in 3 ways. And I think this is just incredible. We are connected, obviously, to our own dignity, meaning we should honor our own dignity and protect our own dignity. We're connected to the dignity of others. And then we are connected to the dignity of whatever we believe in that is greater than ourselves. So I am a religious person. So I feel I am a Christian. And so I'm connected to that. Doesn't have to be that. You could just feel that you're connected to the natural world. You could feel that you're connected to the planet. You could feel that you are connected to whatever higher power or spirituality you practice. But in doing that, right, we begin to treat ourselves and others and whatever it is that's greater than us with the dignity that we've all been given at birth. Dr. Hicks says that we have to be guardians of dignity. We guard our own, we guard the dignity of others and that which is greater than ourselves. So as leaders, consider yourself a guardian of these people who you are leading and the people who you are serving. Let's keep it going. I want us to have an open conversation about this. If we are guardians of dignity, she has found that disconnection or a dignity violation happens through words. This is what she writes, y'all. This is pretty heavy. She said that words can be used as weapons to psychologically annihilate people's dignity, to annihilate their sense of worth. So whether it's something that we say to ourselves or something that is said to another person, whether we said it unintentionally or we overhear someone saying it, words can be used as weapons. So I want to sit here for a second and just have a little bit of an open conversation. How does this feel to you? Do you agree? Do you disagree? What would you like to put into this space today?
1000% agree.
Thank you. I do too. Words are so powerful. And y'all, it's what we say to ourselves too. I agree. Words are molding power. Thank you. Yes. Anybody else? Agree. Thank you, Anne. That's right. You cannot take the words back. Once they're out, they're out. Yeah. So those 10 elements of dignity, from accepting someone's identity to including them in our workplace conversations and decisions, listening to them, validating their concerns, recognizing them, all of those 10 things. One little word, just one little word from me or you or anybody else on the team or anybody on a different team or somebody from the state who doesn't even know the work we're doing, and this reporter comes in and thinks that she's broken a story and she puts something out in the newspaper. One little tiny word can annihilate our sense of value and worth. And we all agree to it. As leaders, when we hear that, we swoop in and we begin to repair. We have to begin to repair. I want us to think about with Alex and Jordan and Maria. So I want us to think about, oh, look, we've got a cute little star still sitting here. I like that. I want us to think about which element of dignity Alex experienced. What was Alex's violation? So Alex, remember, she shared the idea in a meeting and then it was immediately dismissed in front of everybody. What do you think was violated for Alex? Violated is such a harsh word, but it is a harsh experience. So I feel that violated is appropriate. That's the word that Dr. Hicks uses. So I stuck with her language. But it's a strong word, violated. But that's how it feels to the person who is receiving it. So what do y'all think? Which one of these elements? Oh, look, you're still using annotate. I love you. You saw the pen. Very good. Yeah, recognition was violated. Very good. I agree. Recognition. Alex was not recognized. Acknowledgement was also violated. Absolutely. Yes, and she was not included. Alex was not included. She had this great idea. She wanted to implement, and boom, it was shot down. She was not recognized. She was not acknowledged, and she was not included. And that's right. Look, her psychological safety is gone. Somebody ticked that. That's right. It was not fair. You're exactly right. Independence was violated. Absolutely. If we want the people on our teams to be independent thinkers, and be leaders themselves, we have to give them the independence to do what they need to do. Yep. Y'all are I agree. I absolutely agree. Okay, let's think about, I'm going to clear these. I want you to think about Jordan. So remember, Jordan had worked on a project forever, and he had worked really, really hard. And during that final presentation, he got no credit for his work. In fact, the supervisor gave all the credit to somebody else. What do you think? What was violated? Acknowledgement, absolutely. Recognition again, yep. The fairness, the understanding, yep. The inclusion. Yep. Yeah, I think that a case can be made for independence as well. You took the lead on the project, you did all the work, like I asked you to. Accountability was violated. Ooh, Jordan was proving that he can be held accountable. And in that evidence, he got shot down. Yep. All right, one more. Let's think about Maria. Maria had analyzed the child's behavior, and there was a family meeting, and she got corrected with condescension. So what do you think was violated for her? I agree. Acknowledgement, safety. I totally agree. Yep. Understanding. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Acceptance of identity. Ooh, I would love to hear your logic for that, because I do agree. Professionalism. Thank you, Connie. Her, I'm curious, the person who put the check mark on identity, is that her professional identity that was violated? Is that what you mean by that? That's where my head went.
That was me, Catherine. So yeah.
Is that where your head went to?
That was exactly what I was thinking. It was basically dismissing her as the having the authority of being the educator.
Yeah.
You know, that she didn't know what she was talking about in sharing that information with the family. So yeah, it dismissed her professional identity.
I've experienced that. It's hard. And when these elements of dignity are broken, trust is gone. Trust is gone. Psychological safety is gone. So anything that we do, all of the work that we've put into building a cohesive team and communicating well with our team, in one swoop, it can be gone for one person. It's very hard. That's right. That leader did not lead. She missed the opportunity. I appreciate that, Connie. Thank you. She missed the opportunity. Thank you. So, Connie, it's like you knew what the transition that we were going to make. Connie led us right into leading with dignity and creating a culture of dignity. So, when we model and encourage lifelong learning, we help each other accept the dignity that we all have. We increase each other's perspectives. We make it safe to be vulnerable. We increase trust. We help people feel comfortable taking responsibility and building accountability in those awkward conversations. It makes those awkward conversations about accountability not so awkward. And then we can empathize. We can teach our teams and coach our teams and ourselves to be more empathetic. Yes. Oh, I love that. Connie, you're on a roll. Yes. Some people think that by shining a light on others, it dims theirs. But in reality, it makes a brighter light for the center as a whole. Yes. We all need to be shining together. Yes. Thank you, Connie. Absolutely. So when we are creating spaces that are honoring the dignity of the team members we have, of the people that we're serving, We're going to create spaces that are healthy. People are complex. We're still going to have problems and we're still going to have challenges, but we're going to begin solving those challenges with that undercurrent of love, like y'all have been talking about. Dignity is the foundation of a healthy workplace, period. We all have all 10 of those elements, and we're all guardians of my dignity, of yours. We protect each other, protect that's higher than us. It all matters. It's all connected. So we can honor the dignity through the words that we say to people, through our actions, through our attitudes, right? Our behaviors, our body language, even. All of that ensures that people feel safe and know that they belong and know that they matter and are comfortable making suggestions. Comfortable if they make a mistake, they're not afraid to fail. We need people to try new things, and failure is part of trying new things. And that's an opportunity for us to lead and coach and walk beside them. When people trust us, we build those authentic relationships with them. And when we build authentic relationships with each other, sometimes our staff might share with us some of their life experiences. And when we learn about their life experiences, then we can learn about who they are and what makes them tick, and we can lead them better. Because like we said, we all bring so many life experiences just even to this conversation today. So that's where we're going to move next into looking at life experiences and how those experiences shape the way we show up to work every day. Here is a scenario for us to consider. Now, this is going to continue to get kind of heavy. If you need to walk away, I understand. No judgment whatsoever. You take care of you. But this is going to get kind of heavy for a little bit here. We've got a scenario about household instability leading into our conversation about adverse childhood experiences. So here is Mia, the child Mia. As a child, she often hid in her bedroom while her parents fought loudly in the next room. The constant yelling and occasional physical altercations left her feeling anxious and unsafe. Because of this, she believed that she should always stay quiet and avoid conflict. Mia. We might all know someone who has a similar experience to Mia. Some of us might have a similar experience to Mia. But what I want to know is, what is the impact as Mia grows up and is an adult? How is this going to affect her ability to speak up in the workplace? If she's learned to stay quiet and avoid conflict growing up, how is that now going to impact her in the workplace? Now, this is a generalization, so I mean, bear with us on that. But what do you think? How could it potentially impact her in the workplace?
Mia could struggle with identity, and she could also have insecurity, original insecurity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Insecurities, struggles with identity. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
Lack of self-esteem.
Yeah. And if I'm bringing that into the workplace with a supervisor who isn't trying to understand me, isn't trying to reach out to me, isn't trying to respect my dignity, I'm gonna tank. I'm gonna get worse and worse and worse. She would be hesitant to speak up. She would be self-conscious. I appreciate that. She won't feel comfortable speaking up. She won't feel comfortable giving up any ideas. But you know that she has good ideas. And we want her to speak up. We want her to feel comfortable. Thank you. I agree. I agree. Let's look at another one. This scenario is about emotional neglect And Christine, I see your comment. Thank you. She would not share any ideas because she might always think that her ideas are incorrect. She's going to be quiet. But she's got good ideas in there. So it's up to us, the leader, to notice and approach in the right way. So this is Daniel. We all might know a Daniel. We might have experienced something similar to Daniel as well. So growing up, Daniel's parents were physically present, but emotionally distant. His achievements went unnoticed, and his struggles were met with indifference. So how might this impact Daniel as an adult? And how might that impact him in the workplace? His parents were physically present, but emotionally distant. His achievements went unnoticed, and his struggles were met with indifference. He might be insensitive. Absolutely. He learned insensitivity from his parents. So in turn, he's going to be insensitive to others. Thank you, Leah.
He may
What
be
else?
standoffish,
Okay, yeah.
to itself, not
Okay.
thinking it matters or, to be involved.
Yep. I appreciate that. Thank you. Connie, he may look for recognition. Yep. 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 He might seek validation from others. He might not strive to achieve more because it won't be noticed. He may not take risks because he expects to be dismissed.
Right.
So true. I know that we have encountered people like this in our workplaces. I know that I have. I know that we might encounter people who have these experiences when we're out in the field and serving others. So noticing these behaviors as leaders, we need to start noticing these behaviors so that we can begin to interact in the right way and begin to honor their dignity and lift them up. Lift them up. I've got one last scenario for you, and this is about parental substance abuse. As a child, oh, let's see, Lena, he may be an attention seeker, yeah, and needs validation. Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Lena. Okay, so here we have Carter's scenario. As a child, Carter never knew what to expect when they came home. Some days their parent was affectionate. Other days his parents were angry and unpredictable because of their alcohol use. So because of this, Carter learned to stay hyper aware of others' moods. What do you think that hyper awareness, how does that impact Carter in the workplace? Hyper awareness of other people's moods. He might not trust people. That's right. Carter never knew what to expect. Some days were good, others were terrible. What did he learn for this? Anxiety, for sure. Absolutely. Always on pins and needles. Erica, I like that. Fear. Fear. I don't know what to expect. Am I doing the right thing? Am I messing up? Is somebody going to come in? Is somebody going to yell at me? Da 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 da. Right? That fear and anxiety coinciding right there. His critter brain never stops. Oh my goodness, expecting the worst to happen. Dread, even feelings of dread. This is no way to live. No way to live, and it is certainly no way to be successful and serve people well. He might be by himself. He might keep to himself. Thank you, Miss Connie. Yes. Yes. So these scenarios are traumatic events in childhood, during childhood. These are what present experiences that would be categorized as an adverse childhood experience or an ACE. And ACEs are traumatic events. They can affect a person's health throughout their lifetime. throughout their lifetime. The Cleveland Clinic defines adverse childhood experiences as negative experiences that happen between the ages of 1 and 17. So that's the childhood part, between the ages of 1 and 17. And they're usually traumatic. They can impact or affect a person's health throughout their lifetime. They can lead to various mental health conditions, chronic physical health conditions, and even substance use disorders. But they can be treated. We just need to know that they exist, and we need to lovingly support. Yeah. Drinking, drug use later, absolutely, absolutely. So traumatic events, this is just a snippet of research from the Cleveland Clinic. And I feel confident that you all have studied ACEs before, but just a snippet from the research about ACEs. So they tell us that a traumatic event is any event or experience that causes long-term stress or just extreme stress. So look at the examples there in that yellow box. A natural disaster. I've been through natural disasters, more than one, and it's terrifying. And so that I do have a trauma response when the weather turns. Any one of these, and this is just kind of a short list. Unfortunately, there's plenty of more examples for traumatic events. One thing that I think is mind-blowing is that everybody on this call today, sitting here in this space today, 60 to 80% of us have experienced at least one adverse childhood experience. At least one. And if you think about how many people are on the call today, 1 in 6 of us have experienced 4 or more of these traumatic events. 4 or more. And this impacts us for our entire lives. Here's some of the impact. Anxiety, right? ACEs shape how we respond to stress, how we communicate, how we engage in relationships, whether it's work or personal, how we develop those healthy relationships. ACEs can cause depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, any number of phobias that exist, insomnia, trouble sleeping, any mood disorder, substance abuse, like Ms. Singleton said, he might start drinking or taking drugs, any type of substance abuse, eating disorders, cancer, even cancer, and diseases, heart diseases, high blood pressure. All of these can be the result of an adverse childhood experience. So then what do y'all tell me? How does this relate to the dignity that we are trying to guard for the people that are on our work teams? What do you think? What is the relationship between ACEs and dignity? No wrong answer. I want to hear from you though. Why is it important to think about adverse childhood experiences while we're also thinking about honoring the dignity of others? What does that do for us as leaders? No thoughts? Are y'all typing? I don't know what's happening. Are you there? Are you there? Ah, here we go. ACEs may lead to challenges in dignity or interactions with others. Absolutely. adverse childhood experiences, oh, look at that, can be the result of not having dignity protected. Yes, of not recognizing your own dignity. Experiences shape and form people into who they are. Thank you. Yes. Yes. So, as leaders, when we honor dignity, we might notice behaviors that signal to us, that clue us in that, gosh, this person might have experienced something in their life that was traumatic. This person might need a little bit extra from me for a little while so I can build up their self-esteem, their confidence, their leadership abilities. This person might need something extra from me so that I can foster a supportive workplace. Gina says, it's important to recognize that people come with experiences that negatively impact current and future relationships, and we must be knowledgeable to notice and support these traumas and their impact. Absolutely. We can extend empathy as leaders. If you have somebody on your team who confides in you and tells you that they have counseling appointments because of their depression or because of their anxiety, we can extend empathy and acknowledge them and support them as they go through this. As leaders, Jennifer, yep, as leaders, we need to be considerate and do our best to show everyone dignity. Absolutely. Everybody has a story behind who they are. Absolutely. We need to support the whole person. And that's what we're saying. We're supporting the whole person. So in doing that, we're going to foster psychological safety. We're going to create an environment where you feel safe speaking up without fear, without judgment. You feel safe. We're going to foster that environment. We're going to foster an environment where, we build trust, where we are consistent, that level of fairness. We build consistency and trust. People who have had traumatic events, they might struggle with trust. They might struggle with authority because of the instability that's been in their past. So the more consistent and more transparent we are, the more we follow through on our commitments, the more we're building that trust among our team members. When we model predictability in communication, that's going to build trust as well. We can practice trauma-informed leadership. So we could recognize that if somebody on our team has a defensive reaction, if they withdraw quickly, or if they're if they're trying to be overly perfect all the time, we could recognize that as a defensive reaction. And we can say, you know what? We can encourage them. You're not incompetent, Cathy. You don't have to be perfect in this space, Cathy. We're all in this together, and we can begin to help shift some of those mindsets that person might have. We can offer flexibility and support, and then leading with compassionate accountability. We can help people be accountable with compassion. And that's what I said we would circle back to. This is coming from that drama triangle. When we lead with compassionate accountability, remember the conversation from navigating conflict? So Dr. Nate Rogier, he's the one who wrote the book, Conflict Without Casualties. It's somewhere over here. Yep. It's got lots of highlights and notes and all that kind of stuff too. Conflict Without Casualties. He defines conflict as a gap between what we want and what we are experiencing. And he says that there is energy in the gap. And what we choose to do with that energy is going to determine if something productive happens or if something negative happens. And he calls the negative drama. And if you sat in the session with us at the summit, we went through that kind of quick little checklist. It was a yes or no checklist. And we said, you might accidentally be bringing that negative energy into your life. And then we had the different roles, the different drama triangle roles. So let's look at those and refresh just a second. Oops, did it? I went too far. Sorry. The drama triangle. This was the persecutor, the rescuer, and the victim. So the persecutor is like shaking the finger, blaming others. The rescuer is helping without even being asked to help. This is kind of, oh, just let me just do it for you so you don't have to worry about it. But then that creates dependency on us and kind of invites that negative energy of dependency into our life. The victim, oh, why is it always me? Why is this always happening to me? That kind of thing. So as leaders, we show compassion. They tell us that there's a compassion cycle, and we can show compassion by being willing to struggle together as an equal with our team members who we lead, or anyone who we're serving, really. We're struggling together as an equal with you. That's the compassion cycle. That's how we're going to help people be more accountable and hold them accountable in a way that doesn't explode, right? That doesn't create more conflict for us. Here's what we got. So look, this is our drama triangle. So the victim, if someone is feeling kind of why me, this always happens to me. As a leader, we approach them with openness and we acknowledge what they're experiencing. If you hear somebody in the persecutor finger pointing role, as a leader, we approach them with resourcefulness. We engage them in problem solving without pointing a finger. If you see someone rescuing all the time, if somebody on your team is, and we do this because we want to help. This is not coming from a negative place. We slip into these roles because it's just where we've landed. And slipping into the rescuer role is because we want to help. But if we see people helping over and over to the detriment of the team or to the detriment of their responsibilities, as a leader, we can jump in and talk to them about, look, we can be empathetic, but let's help people accomplish what they're trying to do rather than doing it for them. Let's teach people. So we're going to support growth in that way. So I've got some more scenarios for us to look at. Here we go. We're going to have to, I want you to be able to identify the drama triangle role, okay? So here we have an employee constantly failing to enter important information into the case file, causing miscommunication, causes stress, and then the manager responds saying, "What's the deal? Why aren't you entering this information?" And then the employee becomes angry and withdraws. Then somebody steps in and begins to cover for them, further enabling the cycle. So who do you think? Who is the victim here? Who is avoiding accountability? It's our victim. The employee, the manager, or the colleague?
Employee?
Yeah,
The employee?
absolutely. Yeah. The employee is the one, and the reason that I would say yes, employee, is because of that next to last sentence right there. The employee became angry and withdraws. Employee says, "You know what? I'm done. I'm withdrawing from this." So they're feeling, why me? They're feeling kind of like a victim in the situation. Who is pointing the finger and kind of acting like a persecutor? The manager. Thank you. Yep. Blaming. What's the deal? Why aren't you doing this? Rah, rah, rah. The manager. Yep. And then who's the rescuer? Who took over? The only one left. Yeah, the colleague. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The colleague. And so now we've still got an angry manager. Now the colleague has done more work than she or he should be doing, maybe stayed late, take on extra role, and this employee who's doing the wrong stuff, failing to enter the information, has not been held accountable for that, has not been talked to, has withdrawn and gotten angry and left. And there's no resolution. There's no resolution. So, dun, 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 here's the better way to do this. As the leader, as the manager or the supervisor, I've got my employee, they're not entering the information that they're supposed to enter. I need to go to that employee and I need to say, gosh, Cathy, what is the challenge for you with entering this information? What's going on? I need to talk with you about this because the information is so important. Tell me, what is your challenge for you? By approaching it that way, hey, Cathy, tell me what's going on. Let's just have a conversation. By making it open like that, chances are the employee is going to, well, the first time you do it, they might not know. They might be suspect. People will be like, why are you being so nice about this? Why is this such a friendly conversation? But the more you live that out, the more they're going to understand that they can talk to you. So asking just this simple open question, what's been challenging for you? Let's talk about this. Then be resourceful with them. All right, look, let's come up with some solutions together. What can you do to ensure that you enter this important information so that miscommunication doesn't happen, so that the rest of the team knows what's going on? What are some things? So brainstorm together. Instead of a manager saying you must do X, Y, and Z, include that person. There's the dignity, right? The inclusion. Include that person in some decision making and problem solving. And then the persistence. Here's the accountability. Because we've had an open conversation, because I've included this person, I've included Cathy in the problem solving. Now, as Cathy's manager, I'm going to say, all right, Cathy, thank you for talking through this with me. This has been a really productive conversation. I appreciate you sharing with me your truths and your experiences. We've just come up with XYZ as a solution. I would like to check back in with you in about a week or so to see if this solution is working for you. I'm going to check back in. Simply saying that phrase, can I check back in with you? And then you present a time frame. If the person doesn't agree with it, that's fine. Let them give you a time frame. Maybe they say 2 weeks would be better. That's fine. Accept what they need, right? Accept what they say. But there's your accountability right there. Then you circle back. Put a note in your phone, mark it in your phone, put it on your calendar so that you don't forget to circle back to that person. And then you go back and say, hey, look, how's it going? Has this solution worked for you? And they're going to say yes, they're going to say no. If they haven't tried anything, go back to open. Tell me what was challenging for you about applying that. The whole compassion cycle is be open, be resourceful, be persistent, and then go back to open. But it's not saying that you, the supervisor, or you, the leader, have to do it. We're talking with the person, with our staff members about this. We can even talk, I even have conversations like this with youth about, owning their goals, goal setting and goal achievement. How does this sit with y'all? Is this okay? Is this, yeah, sounds good, looks good on paper, but not at all ever going to happen in my life, in my world?
I would say great information.
Okay. Do you think that it could be applied?
Yes.
They're doing them.
Okay, very good. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I will tell you, okay, good. I'm seeing yeses. All right, good. I will tell you, I have done this before. Now, I was a nervous wreck the first time I approached somebody because it wasn't somebody on my team who was doing something wrong. It was somebody on my larger team that the way that they were doing things was impacting my work. And I was a nervous wreck, but I stumbled through it and I did the best I could the first time. And it helped, y'all. It helped. It really, really did. And we have a good relationship now and the problem has resolved. So I encourage you, just be open, talk with people. Be resourceful together. That shows people that you
Mhm.
believe in them. And then find the right time frame for checking back in. Hold people accountable. Check back in with them. All right, let's look at another little scenario real quick. So here we have Malik is the team lead. Malik is frustrated that Lisa, the team member, missed an important deadline. He confronts her in a very tense email. He writes, Lisa, this is the second time you've dropped the ball on a deadline. This is unacceptable and it makes the entire team look bad. You need to take your responsibilities more seriously. Lisa is now feeling embarrassed and defensive, and she does not respond, and she withdraws from team discussions. Later, her colleague, her buddy Sarah, steps in to defend her, telling Malik, look, Lisa has a lot going on. You need to cut her some slack. Lisa has a lot going on. You need to cut her some slack. So who do y'all think? Who is the victim? It's pretty easy to identify, right? Who is our victim in this scenario? Thank you. Yep. I see it popping in. There's Lisa. Lisa's our victim. Who is our persecutor?
The team leader.
The team leader, Malik. That's right. That team lead. And who is our rescuer? Sarah. Yep. Absolutely. So then instead of emailing her the way that he did, what could Malik have said that would encourage any type of openness? And I don't have anything prepared to like pop in and give you an example. I just really want to hear from you. What do you think would be a statement that the team lead could say to encourage some openness from Lisa?
Really, he should have talked to Lisa one-on-one.
Not an email. True. Very true.
And then maybe he could find out more what was going on with her. Be more understanding.
Be more
We're all
understanding.
human.
Yeah. That's it, right? You missed an important deadline. And let's approach you as a human, right? Respect your dignity, honor your professionalism, and let's talk and be understanding. Thank you. You want to keep going? Tell me what he could do to encourage resourcefulness.
You could offer some encouragement and not make her feel less disrespected.
Yeah, absolutely. And problem solve together, right? Like,
Yeah, as a
let's talk
team.
about this, Lisa. What are the barriers you're experiencing for the deadline? You know, what support do you need? How can I help you meet these deadlines? And brainstorm with her.
Yep. Offer support.
There you go, Connie. Take his part in by putting some safeguards in place. Yep. Thank you, Connie. All right, and then the last thought is the persistence. What does our team lead need to do for that compassionate accountability component there? How can we hold Lisa accountable to meeting deadlines with that persistent method? I think those are kind of the safeguards that Connie was talking about.
Offer support, see if she needed any assistance with anything.
Yeah. Whatever the brainstorm was in the resourcefulness component of the conversation, me and Lisa, we're talking, and Lisa says, well, maybe I need to just put these calendar reminders, a week in advance. Great. Let's do that. I want you to put that into practice. And you know what, Lisa? I'm going to come back to you in a week and see if that's been working for you. That way she knows, okay, my supervisor's going to ask me about this, so I better do it. I better begin to use it. Does that make sense, you guys? Okay. All right, so let's recap. Big picture. Here we go. We all have dignity. We all have dignity. We are all connected to our own dignity, to each other's dignity, and that which is greater than ourselves. It's all connected. Adverse childhood experiences undermine dignity and they impact us as adults. ACEs manifest in many, many ways. Leaders who support the whole person will foster thriving people and thriving workplaces. And compassionate accountability, that openness, that resourcefulness, and persistence, that's compassionate accountability. That provides a framework to build trust, to foster psychological safety, and support the whole person. Yes, Connie, lead with empathy and compassion. Yeah, lead with dignity. Yes. So I want to leave you with this statement, if you will, because I do believe this about all of you. As a leader, you have the power to shape a workplace culture where dignity is not just a value, but a lived experience. By recognizing the whole person and understanding their challenges and honoring their strengths and fostering that compassionate accountability, we create an environment where trust, respect, and growth will thrive. Every conversation, every decision, every act of recognition, all reinforces that culture where people feel valued and empowered. So your commitment to leading with dignity transforms not only your workplace, but also the lives of the people whom you lead. So thank you for being here. Thank you for striving to create a space where everybody knows that they belong, where they're willing to contribute, and where they're going to thrive and flourish. Your leadership matters. Yes, Connie. Yes. As leaders, it feels great to be a model, not the bully. We're not trying to be bullies. Thank y'all so much. Okay, last little chat for me, or unmute. What does it mean to lead with dignity and understand the whole person? I know what Connie says. It feels great to be a model rather than a bully. We got to lead with empathy and compassion. Anybody else? Last minute thought?
Lead with communication.
Oh, yes. Yes. Communication. Thank you. Listen before you speak. Hope for
To
the
lead
future.
how you would like to be led. Basically,
Ooh.
treat the people as you want to be treated.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yes. Yeah. Our dignity matters. Your dignity matters. Those elements of dignity, we just need to remember them and honor them in everyone and in ourselves. Shows you value. Yes, it shows value for the people you work with. It gives importance and purpose. Thank you. Intentionally positive. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. I just love being with y'all. Thank you for talking. Thank you for participating. Thank you for thinking with me and spending some time with me this afternoon, taking time out of your day. I appreciate it so much. I'm going to turn it back over to Christine.
Catherine, we can't thank you enough. I would love to invite anybody that can unmute to please unmute temporarily and join me in giving Catherine a big round of applause, because I think this has been a fabulous session.
Yes.
It's been an amazing series that you have provided us so far. I can't wait for the 4th installment. And you know, your presentation style is very comfortable and welcoming, and you connect to people. So and it feels like a very safe environment to discuss some things that may not always be comfortable to discuss. So thank you for all of the work that you put into your presentation and the research that you do behind it, because these have been really meaningful for us and we appreciate that.
Thank you. I love
you so
y'all. Thank
much.
you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for being willing to listen. Thank you for being open-minded and hearing it and discussing it with me. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. Yeah, read the book. And we will, Christine is going to send out a copy of the slide deck, so you'll have that. I think somebody asked for that in the chat, and she's going to send that out.
Yeah, absolutely. And Catherine has mentioned 2 books during the process of the series, and I can include those titles and authors as well, so that you can look those up if you choose to. Samantha, if you could, would you share also our leadership forum schedule on the screen? If you could do that. Before we let you go today, I do want to remind you that we do have this schedule set for the rest of the year, I say. Actually, the 619 session is the last one that we'll be doing in June, but that topic is going to be with ABC Quality, and that will be Cathy Kovacs will be leading that session. So we do have an updated list that I'll share when I send out the other information. I'll include that with the update on that. So please make sure that you share this, you put it on your schedule, that you share with your friends. This is not restricted to just 4K leaders. So if you know anybody that is in childcare or in early education, in any role that wants to participate in one of these sessions where the information and the content would be meaningful for them, then please invite them in, share the schedule. We want this to be shared widely, and for anybody that can benefit from it to get that. So we hope that you will continue to join us. We have PSSA coming up next month. That's the Palmetto Shared Services Alliance. And they'll be talking about observing and evaluating your staff. Then Cathy's back with us in April, okay, for the 4th of her series in cultivating that culture of dignity and compassion, compassion and accountability. Then in May, we have Jane Humphreys from our McCormick Center for Early Childhood Leadership joining us to talk about the Aim for Excellence National Director's Credential, which would be about the time that we are launching our next Aim for Excellence cohort. And then again, June, we'll be talking with ABC Quality and how you can prepare and improve through ABC Quality, and Cathy Kovacs will be leading that one. So we feel like we've gotten a really good response for these leadership forums, and we want them to continue. So we're planning right now for the 25-26 year. We will probably be inactive in July and August, and then we'll pick up again in September. But we'd like to hear what content you all would like to have these sessions cover. What are topics that are important to you? Where do you feel like you want more information? Or do you have presenters that you'd like to hear from? So Catherine has been kind of this diamond that we have found, and that we're going to hold tight to her. She has presented at Leadership Academy. She's presented at the summit, and she's done these leadership series. So I think we will probably continue to develop series with her and invite her back. But tell us what kind of content do you want? Okay, what would be helpful for you? So please feel free to share that. You can send it to me or to Samantha, and I'll put my email in the link. I think a lot of you probably know how to get in touch with me, but I want to make sure I'm not assuming. Okay, but send me your thoughts and your comments, or how could we do this better? If you have suggestions on that. All right. So this will count for 1.5 hours of professional development credit today. So I'll be getting that entered into the SC Endeavors account for everybody. So as long as you registered and we have your SC Endeavors number, that should not be any kind of issue. So thank you so much for being with us. And feel free to reach out to any of us and give us your feedback and your suggestions. All right. Thank you, Catherine.
Yes, thank you. Y'all have a good afternoon.
Thank you, you too.
See y'all
A
soon.
pleasure
Take
as
care of each
always.
other. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.